This is going to be a pretty in-depth, insane training. I'm going to be covering three really important parts of how to scale your music business. The first is going to be ads. The second is going to be the DM script. And the third is the actual qualification process, because one of the biggest gaps from where you are right now, which is you're making money with music and your music business, but you've got a lot of offers and you feel like your bandwidth is your bottleneck, to getting to a point where you can scale your music business effectively without feeling like you're killing yourself on a hamster wheel. The gap is, one of the biggest gaps is qualified leads. Because when you've grown organically, it's great. Growing organically is awesome because you can grow a big audience and it doesn't cost any money, and any money that you make is straight profit. But the problem is you can't control the traffic. You can't really control the quality of people that comes in. And so if you're in that situation where you're already making really great money with music and your music business, no matter what it is, and you want to scale, but you don't know how to run paid ads, you haven't run them effectively, and you feel like you can't really scale a high ticket offer directly to your audience because you feel like your audience is disqualified, I'm going to literally solve that problem in this video. Like, solve it. This is going to be a lot different than any other video I've made, because this, I've never pulled back the curtains this much in a video and just given it away. This is pulling from stuff directly from my program, Music Money Mastery. So yeah, I was almost nervous to make this video actually, because I'm like, dude, this is kind of a lot of like just giving away, but I want to show you how we can really help you scale. So we're going to go in order. First is ads. And I'm only going to talk about a specific type of campaign, which is called a retargeting campaign. So this works so well if you already have a big audience. Okay, if you've never run ads, that's fine. But if you have a big audience, this is going to crush. Okay, if you don't have a big audience, you got to run different types of ads. But let's rip and rock and roll. So the first type of ad, and I just want to show you an example of an ad I'm running, and I'm going to literally show you the campaign setup. This is the ad. Simple as that. It's a single image, cool picture of me with some text. Niche call out. I always like the ready to. I don't know. This just worked for me. Ready to. And then I like the ready to ditch. Ready to ditch or ready to get rid of or ready to escape thing that you hate and go towards something you love. Ready to ditch your 9 to 5 and transition into music full time. And then little the below hand, DM me, keyword, and I'll show you exactly how I achieve desired result. And then obviously, so, you know, you send them over like a lead magnet. I prefer to send them what's called a video sales letter. Right now on this ad, and I'm going to show you the setup. This is a retargeting ad. I've collected just $3K off, and I had the clients' names written here, but for their privacy, I took it out. But I think it was 3 different clients. I've collected $3K. I've only spent $466 on this. It's like a 7x return on cash. Pretty good. I'm going to be scaling this. So this is really good. So I'm going to show you how to like set this up. So for you, what I would recommend is a single image, and you can test a ton of different images. What I would recommend you do is an image where it's like your face. It could be like full body. And what I would test is a bunch of different hooks. I would have one, the only hook I would test would be this middle one. So I would have here, let's say you're targeting recording artists. So I would have recording artists, and the DM CTA, I would have that be like the same. DM me CTA, and I'll show you how I achieved XYZ result. That I would keep the same, and that I would keep the same, but I would have at least 5 different versions of the hook. That's what I would test. So I would keep the image the same, the niche call out the same, the CTA the same. The only thing I would test would be this hook. Okay? And here's how we'd set it up. So I'll show you the way I've set it up here. So it's story retargeting ads. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and show you exactly what I've done. Whatever. Okay, so The type of campaign objective is engagement. I keep everything else off. And we're going to go to, where is it? This is the ad set. And I've tested a few different ad sets, and none of them has worked as well as this. And so I'm going to show you exactly how we'd set it up. So I'm doing it for $10 a day. By the way, it was at $5 a day previously, but because it was doing so well, I've doubled the budget. So it's $10 a day. The audience. So this is really important. So my audience, these are what's called custom audiences. Okay. So I'm targeting my Instagram followers, and I'm targeting people who have engaged with my profile in the last 90 days. That includes people who don't follow me, by the way. There's a lot of people who don't follow me, and this is the same with you. If you've gone viral or you've got a really big audience, then you probably, 90 days is great. 90 days is great. And by the way, I've tested 7 days, 30 days, or I've tested 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, 365 days. I've tested all of them. For me, 90 days has always just been the best. So I do 90 days. And then also people who have DM'd my account in the last 90 days. So that's who I'm targeting, is IG followers, 90-day engagers, and DM audience. Keep the age off, gender off, no detailed targeting. You can see it's a small audience. It's only it's less than 50,000 people. But that's what's so great about it. That's what's great about it. I do manual placements. I do Instagram. To me, this is the coolest thing. It's only stories. No reels, no feed, just Instagram stories, and it is a single image. The most beautiful thing about this type of campaign is the way you can test is so easy, and you can create ads and whip them out so easily. And then here's the ad. I showed you it. But what's cool, and by the way, I did boost post, because what I did was I took this picture and with the text, and I actually uploaded it as an Instagram story. Then I just boosted the post. It's so sick. So beautiful. And then scrolling down here, send an Instagram message, and then I have a DM blueprint. So basically, I'll just kind of, can I preview it on Instagram? No, I'm just going to hit edit so you can see what it looks like. So basically, when someone clicks on the ad, this is what pops up. Hey, name, want to see how I scale my music business to 20K a month? DM me blueprint. They just hit the word send. And then I personally, right now, this is the most inefficient thing that in my business right now, I'm manually hitting people up. I don't use ManyChat or GHL. The only reason is for me, when I use ManyChat, I've noticed massive dips in reply and deliverability. Deliverability, not as much, but the replies, I'm talking about, nobody would reply. Because I think it's because they see the gray ManyChat box and oh, it's a bot. Dude, with me, I'll take hours and hours and hours to respond to people, and I've never had a problem with people replying. I think it's because they are oh, wow, this guy took so long to reply to me. This must not be a bot, and they want to reply more. Just a theory, sharing that with you. If you want to use Go High Level or ManyChat, go ahead and do it. I just don't. Okay, so that's how to set up the ad and stuff. Now, the next part of it is the DM script. I'm literally pulling this directly from my program, so you're welcome. So I'm going to go through two different parts. The first is the DM appointment setting framework. Now, you could do this yourself, or you can have a you could do this yourself, or you can have a VA or an appointment setter do it. It's up to you. I do want to say, I hate to make this a little too confusing, but this type of campaign that we're running is a retargeting ad, and I'm actually showing you an appointment setting framework from brand new people. So here's what I can do instead. I can actually just show you, I'm going to X this out. I'm going to show you qualifying in the DMs. So essentially what you want to do is you want to take people through a really systematic framework. I look at it as point A, point B, and what's holding you back. Simple as that. So let me show you a B2C offer, how you would do this. So let's say that this is super B2C. If you're doing custom production, okay, if you're doing custom production work, you're producing mixed mastering. By the way, if you're not doing that, you can still take this and fill it in, but this is how you would do it. First, point A is how are you currently getting your songs produced, mixed, mastered? So essentially what you're asking is how are you currently getting things done? So if you're doing music marketing, let's say you're doing music marketing, you're teaching recording artists or rappers or hip hop artists or pop artists, whoever it is, how to market their music. Simply ask them, Hey, how are you currently marketing your music? How are you currently doing it? How much are you spending? How much are you, like, what do you currently do to market your music? Get a sense of where they're at. The next thing, and this is going to be really the key to really, really qualifying people is, hey, are you doing music full time? If they're doing music full time, that's great, but let's find out how much money they're making, because you know how people are. Whoa, that's dope. Like, that's dope you're doing music full time. How much revenue you bring in a month? If they're not bringing in anything, then they are probably a broke artist and you don't want to book them on your calendar. Oh, well, if you don't mind me asking, if you're doing music full time, but that's all you're making, how much are you doing to pay the bills? And you can figure this out. But if they're actually making good money, bro, like they might be making good money. Hey, I'm making like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8K a month with music because I'm like touring. Okay, that's cool. If that's the case, move on to the next question. But if they're not doing music full time, I'd actually prefer that. Be like, okay, got you, no worries. So then what else do you do for work until you do music full time? Then you'll find out if they have a good job. If they're unemployed, end the convo. But if they have a good job, move on to the next step, which is like, what are your goals with music within the next 2 to 3 months? But really, this is just within the time frame of your program. So what I mean by that is like, let's just call it your offer. So if you're doing, let's say you're doing a 3-month thing, it's month to month, but it's 3 months. Then you would ask them, what are your goals with music within the next 3 months? You do not want to ask people, what are your goals with music? Because you know they're going to say some super, super big dreams, and then you're not going to be able to tie them down to those big dreams, like based on where they're at. And then the next thing is, what are your biggest challenges getting there? And then I'm going to even add another one is, why is now the time for you to want to, overcome these challenges, right? This is basically urgency. And I'm going to add that in there, and then urgency. Why now? And that's urgency. That's huge. And then after that, like after they've gone through that entire process, like you know how much money they've got, you know what their goals are, you know what they're currently doing, you know what their challenges are, they've told you why now's the time. That's when you can go about actually pitching the call. And that actually that's the part I wanted to share. Give me one sec. So let me go through the actual pitching the call part. So after you've gotten all of those things from them, this is when you go to the point where you pitch them a call. So you can say, you could say, honestly name, based on everything we've talked about, I'm confident that I can help you. I actually help niche achieve desired result, and then you also want to do it within time frame, right? And so whatever your time frame is, if it's 3 months, whatever, you seem like you'd be a good fit, down to hop on a call. Wait for the response. They're probably gonna be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And you'd be like, awesome, cool if I send you my calendar link. And then you wait for them to respond, and then you send the calendar link. Cool, here it is. Let me know when you're all set. I'll stick around 5 minutes to confirm on my end. Now, after they've booked in the call, by the way, I'm going to show you my call booking process. But after they've booked in the call is the post-booking process. Now, the post-booking process, after they've booked, go into your Instagram DMs, label them as booked, send them some things to check out. I have you could do a public VSL, you can have a private VSL, testimonials, whatever it might be. I'm actually going to show you what I do. But you also want to say, hey, awesome, I saw you booked in a call. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Make sure to check out this resource and then give them a reason that benefits them. You don't want to just be like, hey, make sure to check this out before the call, or I'm not going to take the call with you. Because now you kind of look like a douche and you don't want to do that. You want to give them a reason that's going to benefit them. Okay? Cool. So let's move on to the next steps. We've got that. I wanted to go through the Calendly booking process. So let me show you what my Calendly looks like. Okay. So a couple things to note here. Number one is I actually love using the description here as like sales copy. And I think that that's really, really, really important. So using something like that, the Calendly days are all set up. And so here's what I do personally. I go name, email, phone number required. Even though it's going to ask for the phone number here, what happens on Calendly is if they put their phone number here, you don't get their phone number. Only Calendly does. But if you ask for it here and they type it out, now you get it too. And then Instagram handle. And then I have a couple of qualifying questions. The first is, for me to partner with you and step into your business to do most of the heavy lifting, there's an upfront investment, including ad spend. What do you have set aside to invest in the growth of your music, like savings or access to credit? And then I'll leave this as blank. You can also, I just like to leave it blank to see what people would say. But you can also experiment with ranges and then canceling calls if someone says 0, I have no money to invest. You know what I mean? If we work together, are you prepared to invest not just financially, but also with your time and energy to implement the strategies we built? I leave that blank to see what they say. Can we agree to make your future a priority and promise to keep our meeting as scheduled? No last minute cancellations or reschedules. Can you commit to show up in a quiet place? No distractions. Zoom already downloaded with your camera turned on. By the way, I won't take the call if you're in the car, even if you're parked. And then boom. And then I schedule the appointment. Okay. Now after that, I have what's called a post-booking page, and that's what I wanted to share with you here. So there's kind of a difference between a VSL and a post-booking video. A VSL, which I can show you an example of one. A VSL, actually I don't need to do that. A VSL is a public VSL. It's like public, it's on YouTube. I have one of those, but this is a private video. So I'll show you an example of... This one was really dope. This one made me $15K cash collected, and I believe it was like 10 days, I want to say. I only take calls Monday through Thursday. I don't take calls on Fridays. So I probably would have made all that money in a less time, but because I don't take calls Friday through Sunday, I think it took 10 total days. But this video made me $15K in 10 days. And really simple. There's a little intro to get people. Basically, I'll show you the format here. There's a, basically it's like have a hook to prepare them for the call and frame the call, who this is and is not for. And if you're not the right fit, just cancel the call. And I literally in there, I'm like, hey, if you're unemployed or you're broke and you can't invest any money right now, cancel the call. It's going to be a waste of your time. Then I talk about my framework and strategies, pillars and timelines, and I'll show client results. Let's see if I can. Let's see here. Right. So I have a little headline. I'll go through my pillars. I go through some social proof, client results. That's me and Legion Beats on a podcast together. This was when I was helping artists, actually. So pretty cool. Right. So then I go through my actual offer. And then I'm pretty sure I had the price reveal in here too. I did. Yeah, I had a price reveal in here too. That's why it helped me make so much money. So the results of this, so think about it. This was after I had super qualified them in the DMs. They go through Calendly and then they go to that video. I think I took 8 sales. I think I booked 10 sales calls, 2 canceled, 8 showed up, and I closed 5 out of 8 for $3K each. That was the $15K. And I use a post-booking page. So I use a whole page. I have copy, and then I'm like, watch this video, right? So that's pretty much, let me see if I'm missing anything here. Yeah, that is the whole process. So that's the entire process. This is super easy to set up. It's super profitable, and it really avoids you taking sales calls with people who are disqualified. Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. There might be a lot of broke people in your audience. Normal. But the point of it is to qualify them. Okay? Because a lot of people in music, what they do is they just say, oh, people are so disqualified and people are broke. It's yeah, you're right. But that doesn't mean you have to talk to those people. Right? And now if you talk to them in the DMs, that's fine. Right? There's no problem with that. As long as you don't get on sales calls with too many people who are broke. And I had to go through that. I had to go through people just being broke as fuck. And I kept ripping calls with them. I'm like, hey, this shit needs to change. And then I changed it and it worked really well. So yeah, I really hope this video brought you value today. And if it did bring you value, let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.